Alright guys, Hazink here, and this week I'm joined by the legendary, the one, the only, Lethal One-Up. Lethal, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, Hazink. I'm excited. This is going to be a fun video. Nothing better than jumping into Hyrule and looking back at the timeless classics of Zelda. And I can promise you guys that was not scripted what I just said. That just came off the top of my head. That's how excited I am for this video, dog.
Yeah, it's not like we just recorded this and we have to do it all over again because Hazink made a mistake or anything like that. What I decided we'd do this time was I put together a form. I tweeted out to the 5-9 Twitter feed. I then sat painstakingly, I can't believe I'm now going to do this all the time, and collated over 300 responses to get a definitive list of the top 10. Lethal, next time I'm going to make you do the collating because it wasn't fun. So if you don't like this list, do not blame me, do not blame Lethal, do not blame Clerk. It's not our fault, it's you guys' fault. Okay, so flame yourself. We're going to start off with some honourable mentions like we always do. If you want to start off, Lethal, fire away.
First honorable mention, Link's Awakening for the Switch. One of the most recent Zelda releases, this remake of the 1993 classic stayed true to the original with only some tasteful upgrades. It retains the top-down point of view and even added some mechanics from Link's Awakening Deluxe. Using toy-like characters and a diorama-like world design, Nintendo manages to keep the game feeling like it did on the Game Boy.
I want to interject there and just let the fans know this. We had the exact same amount of votes for Link's Awakening on the Switch and Link's Awakening on the Game Boy. So
Ooh.
You could actually apply this to either of them. They were a dead heat. But obviously for us running some footage in the background, I thought we'd go with the prettier one rather than the Game Boy one. But both of them actually received the exact same number of votes, which I found pretty funny. Next honourable mention goes to the original Legend of Zelda on the NES. This was released in 1986 and it started it all, introducing the world of Hyrule. Link must collect pieces of the Triforce of Wisdom and rescue Princess Zelda from Fanon. Crawling through dungeons and collecting new gear keep the player busy, and there are many secrets to discover as you play. It was also the first home console to include an internal battery for saving, so some history for you there, boys.
And coming as the third...
Cumbering?
I don't know what I just said there, but I meant to say coming in at the third honorable mention is The Legend of Zelda 4 Swords Adventure GameCube Edition, which is the one that I actually got to play, and one of my personal favorites. This was released back in 2004. This game saw Link again trying to restore peace to Hyrule, but he must first defeat himself, Shadow Link. One of the earlier Zelda games to include multiplayer aspects in a Zelda game. Hazink, please tell me you got to play this one and you got to play with some friends, because I absolutely loved playing this game with friends and trying to solve the different dungeon puzzles. Oh my god, such a great time.
Before the internet existed, I didn't have friends, so no.
Oh, Jesus.
Thanks for making me feel
We'll
bad
have to
about
replay it
myself,
again, it's
Lethal.
okay.
I'll download it for the Game Boy Advance emulator, the GameCube emulator, and we'll play it on some Dolphin. Aye, I'll give it a go. I like the Toon Link design and the cartoony design of Four Swords. Speaking of cartoony designs of Four Swords, number 10 on the actual list starts off with the Minish Cap on the Game Boy Advance. This was released in 2004 and it was actually developed by Capcom. The game was received as one of the best Game Boy Advance games released throughout its life. Minish Cap also involves the Four Sword world as well and expands on what was built for Four Swords and Four Swords Adventure, like we touched on in the honourable mentions there. Link gains the ability to shrink to the size of the Minish, a small bug race, and also introduces kinstones among other gameplay mechanics. Did you have a soft spot for this one, Lethal? This one was quite good. I liked the fact that they outsourced it to Capcom, and I think they've done a good job with it. It's one of the ones that I actually really enjoy.
So Hazing, unfortunately, this is one that I never got to play, but I can recall seeing like some of the gameplay for this game, which is really cool with, him using the Minish Cap and whatnot. And it's funny because you mentioned that Capcom helped, develop this game, and I didn't know that. So that's really cool to know that like Capcom had taken one of the property, had taken the Zelda property or, and made a game, helped make a game for it. So now it makes me want to look more into the Minish Cap because I didn't know that, because it's really cool to see that, got some Capcom loving in here for some of these Zelda games, which is really neat. All right, guys, jumping in at number 9, The Legend of Zelda 4 Swords GBA Edition. The origin of the 4 Swords gameplay This game was coupled with A Link to the Past on the GBA and features styles more similar to the Minish Cap. Four Swords also needs at least 2 people to be able to play this game. Fans were happy to be able to continue the journey in the sequel.
Number 8, A Link Between Worlds on the 3DS. One of the most critically acclaimed Zelda titles, this 2013 title takes place after A Link to the Past, and Link must once again save Hyrule by freeing Zelda from the evil sorcerer Yuga. Link must travel through a parallel world, Laurel? I don't even know how to say that word, and use his new ability to merge into walls to reach new areas. This game also allowed the player to complete dungeons in any order and also introduced the item rental system.
Coming in at number 7, Skyward Sword for the Wii. The first game to detail the origins of the iconic Master Sword, Link must save childhood friend Zelda. Link also explores Skyloft, which is a floating island, and he also solves multiple puzzles, and he still has his quest to find Zelda and stop the enemy Girahim before he can resurrect Demise. This game's combat and mechanics were heavily based on the use of Wii Motion plus Peripheral. Man, English is pretty hard today. Hazing.
Well saying you knocked out Girahim, no problem this time, but the last time you're like, everybody misses that.
I'm struggling over here today. I apologize, but I want to bring something up here. Hazing, I didn't get a chance to play Skyward Sword, but I remember watching people, and I remember a lot of people were saying that like this game, it used the Wii Motion Plus, and some people said it was really good. Some people said they didn't like it that much. So I was just curious, have you had any experience playing Skyward Sword at all?
Yeah, I'm very much of the... I didn't like tacked on motion controls in anything. I mean, I like motion controls and stuff like VR, etc. That merit them. You're in a VR world, you want to move your hands about and stuff. But I'd rather just play a game with a control pad, to be completely honest.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm old school in that regard, so yeah, I'm not for it. However, people did say the sword combat in Skyward Sword was something they really enjoyed. It was, a lot of people compared it to like Wii fencing, I think it was, on Wii Sports 2, I think you had the fencing in. So people were a fan of that. This next one, number 6, how dare you, 5'9" viewers, how dare you rank this game so low? To me, this game should be number 1. Screw your new titles, this is the one. This is Zelda, and my wife sitting next to me would agree with me 100% that this one should be higher than number goddamn 6 on this list, and it is A Link to the Past on the SNES. The Zelda game, that's all I'm going to say. The third title in the series and released in 1991. Again, reason it's so low is because none of you guys were born when this game came out. This game focuses on Link defeating Ganon while rescuing the descendants of the 7 sages. Leaving behind the side-scrolling nature of Zelda 2, this game introduces many Zelda classics such as Parallel Worlds and the Master Sword. Ported to almost every other Nintendo console, this is one that Zelda fans of all ages have been able to try. Although I don't even know if that's factually correct, because Lethal, have you played this?
No.
I hate you! Why are you making videos with me? You've never played A Link to the Past. You better fix it. You better fix that, or I'm seriously going to be having words with you.
Listen. I've always said my Nintendo, a lot of the games, I haven't played a lot of them. I need to catch up more on them. Of course, Zelda, it's one of those where I've always wanted to play like a lot of the original titles that came out. Of course, they're classics, and they're known to be great for a reason, and I haven't gotten to that yet. That's why I was like, man, 3DS, I told you, was the time where I really got into Zelda, because I guess maybe because it was more of like that open world. It was 3D. It wasn't this 2D. What do you want to call it? Not even side scrolling. It's just over top point of view. I just couldn't get into it even when it came back out later, I think. So it's something that I obviously have to get back into it, because I need to know the history of where Zelda came from, because we all see it now as this gorgeous Breath of the Wild kind of take. But like once upon a time, this game had a different kind of view, right? When it came to like A Link of the Past and whatnot. So I know, man. Yeah. I know I have to get there. One day I will get there. I promise.
I don't even know why I'm surprised when you put Resident Evil 5 as your favourite Resident Evil game. You've got no taste. Like, we can just move on.
Chris punching boulders, man. That was a good time for me. Oh man. All right, jumping in at number 5. You'd be happy I play this one. Jumping in at number 5, Majora's Mask for the N64. the second of the 3D Zeldas and a direct sequel to Ocarina of Time. Majora's Mask is set in Termina, which is said to be destroyed in 3 days. Link must use all of his tools in his kit to defeat Skull Kid, a devious imp who stole the mask from a traveling salesman. Link must learn to control time and use different masks to clear several dungeons and save Termina. Now, I've played this game, but I played it, I think they also did Majora's Mask on 3DS as well, because I played that game, but I know it wasn't on N64 because I wasn't old enough then. But I definitely played this on 3DS, and this was probably one of my favorites. In fact, I'm surprised to see it at number 5, but then again, I didn't make this list. You guys made this list, so interesting selection. I don't know, Hazing.
I mean, Link to the Past at number 6, so don't be surprised at anything on this list from here on out.
Yeah.
The next one on the list, though, I don't actually mind having the position that it's got, because I did enjoy it. I do enjoy the character redesign, etc., and that is the Wind
Love this one.
Waker. I always say Wind Walker, do you know that? But it's Wind Waker.
Yeah.
And it was released originally on the GameCube, but it did get a HD remaster on the Wii U. Be interesting to know in the comments if anyone prefers the Wii U version to the more cartoony look of the GameCube version. Sound off, let us know. It was released in 2002. This adventure puts Link in on a group of islands surrounded by the sea. Link must save his sister from Ganon and is entangled in a battle for the Triforce, joined by new allies Tetra and the King of the Red Lions. Link sails, explores, and traverses the world to save the day once again.
Coming in at number 3, Twilight Princess for GameCube and Wii. This game finds our hero Link as he tries to prevent a parallel dimension known as the Twilight Realm from taking over Hyrule. We also see Link take the form of a wolf and is assisted by a new character, Midna. While the motion controls may feel forced, it can also be enjoyed without it on the GameCube.
The superior way to play.
Yes, 100%. Again, going back to what we said for Skyward Sword, I don't know exactly how the motion controls could work for a Zelda game, but again, I know it somewhat worked on that one. But for this one, I'm glad they had it where I was able to play it also on like GameCube to really enjoy it. But I'm gonna go ahead and say too, because I forgot to mention it, I hope Skyward Sword at some point does get reported over, maybe to Switch, without the need of using motion controls, which I don't know if that can happen because I believe that game was really focused on like the use of motion. So I guess if they bring it back, that'd be great because maybe I could just replay it and actually play it this time. But if there's any possible way to just maybe even remake it, I don't know, who knows? But like I would love to try out that story of that game, but maybe not having to be forced to do motion, but we'll see. Who knows?
I think the big difference is Twilight Princess was made for a controller and then they ported in motion controls, whereas Skyward Sword was made with motion controls in mind. That's why Skyward Sword is viewed by many as it's a good motion control game. It was one of the games that used the Wii in a unique way and not just for bowling. Let's be honest, most people bought the Wii to play Wii Sports, you know. So coming in at number 2 on the list, we have Breath of the Wild. No, we don't. We have the Ocarina of Time on the N64. This is the first of many 3D Zelda games and considered by many to be the greatest game of all time. Not by me though. I don't agree with that. Link is put back in Hyrule and must stop evil King Gandalf. Praised for its visuals, sound, gameplay, soundtrack, and writing, there is something for everyone to fall in love with in this game. The game also introduced many common 3D game mechanics, such as target lock system and context-sensitive buttons. Did you like this one?
Yeah, this one I loved it. I mean, I loved the open world, right? I loved like the learning about the different characters because again, this was like really my entry into the Zelda series. But I love the ocarina. I love playing the different tunes. Oh, that was for me like the coolest thing. I don't know why. I just loved it, and I think a big thing too was like the score and like the soundtrack of this game. Oh my god, it's the one that I probably remember the most out of any of them. Not that I mean, you kind of hear a lot of the recurring music, right? But this is the one where this is one of those games where I've really just thoroughly enjoyed the entire soundtrack to this game. It was beautiful.
I am not ashamed to admit it, but I honestly, genuinely, 100%, I rank A Link to the Past better than Ocarina of Time. I love Link to the Past. Link to the Past is number 1 for me by a country mile as well. But why don't you go ahead and tell us? I wonder what it is though, Leafo. I mean, do you think anybody will be able to figure out at this point what number 1 is going to be? I mean, why don't you just put them out their misery and let them know?
It hasn't been said yet, so I know people are thinking like, okay, whoa, where is this one at? Don't worry, it's here.
It's this Spirit Tracks.
Coming in at number 1, Breath of the Wild, Wii U and Switch. Published for both the Wii U and Switch, this game is set at the end of the Zelda timeline. Link awakens from a 100-year sleep and must defeat Calamity Ganon to save Hyrule. Featuring another non-linear story and a world built to reward exploration and creativity, this game breeds a level of open worldness that we hadn't seen from a Zelda game before. Fans can look forward to a sequel, hopefully this year, but then again, that's just a little bit of speculation.
I wonder if people like speculating about what's going to happen on Breath of the Wild. Maybe they could tune in 2 days' time to find out when we bring that video to you on 5/9.
Ooh, there you go. I mean, I think a lot of people are looking forward to this one. I mean, a lot of people, I think even a lot of people who are just getting into like Zelda for the first time, loved Breath of the Wild and the direction they took that game, or just the IP in general, and with this new kind of format. Oh my god.
Beautiful. What I think they could do for Zelda 2 is borrow some ideas from Genshin Impact, and then they could make it really good.
Oh, okay. I don't know which features, but I mean, yeah, open world. Oh yeah, climbable things, certain stamina things. Oh yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, man. Put some little dresses on. Put some little dresses on Zelda and make.
だけど、今は、感染の沈静化に協力すべき時ですね。
Guys, this is the list. Me and Hazen, you know, we've given our little thoughts on it throughout the entirety of this video. So let us know your thoughts on your own list, because we get to say that, you know, this isn't, for once, this wasn't a 5/9. We picked it. This is actually what everybody voted on, and this is what they chose. And this is what the list came down to. Those last 5 there, I mean, those top 5 there, I wouldn't disagree with that. I know Hazen wants to see certain other titles up there, but for me personally, I'm okay with that top 5 there. I like it.
I'm not.
But either way, this is the video. We hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have any other requests for any other top 10, let us know down below. Give us some ideas. You know, we'll put it together. We'll probably do like Hazy said in the beginning. We'll put out a form out there for any other ideas that we get. You know, we'd like to start having you guys more contribute and help out with some of these lists and get to see what, you know, what the 5/9 audience really wants to, you know, like what are their rankings for a lot of these, you know, big franchises and whatnot. So you'll see more of this, and I'm sure we'll hear more from you guys. So we appreciate it, and we love you guys as always. Don't forget, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. And at the same time, don't forget to check out our Twitter and our Twitch. All the links should be down below. And that's pretty much it. I mean, Hazing, any last words before we roll out here?
You guys suck for not putting Link to the Past at number 1. If this was a 5/9 list, I would have like repeatedly complained at these guys to at least get Link to the Past in the top 3. I don't think I'd have got it at number 1, but I tell you right now, if this was a 5/9 list, I would have made these guys put Link to the Past at least bare minimum number 3.
Oh my god. I think at that point,
you know, I would have complained and complained
I
and
mean,
complained.
You know,
and
I would like to see
done.
Majora's Mask a little bit higher, but I mean, I can't complain with the rest that are out there. Like, they named, for me personally, like a good top 5, so I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna go ahead and end it here. Thank you guys for watching, and we will catch you guys on the next one. Remember, I'm Lethal One Up, and that is Hazing. And again, we will catch you on the next one. Peace.